everyone, I'm Kayleen Pendarvis, and today we have a book by the author named Greg Smith that we are going to review. And the title of the book is Lex Talionis, which means Law of Retaliation, and the author's name is Greg Smith. Hi, Greg. Now, I want to go over here first and foremost the cover of the book, and the very first thing I want to do is to describe these eyes here. To me, they're more mysterious eyes, more evil eyes, more stank eyes, more murderous eyes, nice nasty eyes. Really like these eyes. They're just staring me right into my soul here. And what will she uncover? That's exactly what I'm getting here from these eyes. Very nice indeed. And we also have the Arabic words. I like the Arabic words at the bottom. It actually stands for an eye for an eye. And we also have some characters here on the pane. I would assume would be the protagonist of the story. And we actually have here Kramer and his dog Shadow. So there's a few more protagonists in the story. I would say Useless, Darcy, and Maria. And also my favorite character, Charlie. She is awesome. Absolute very favorite story here. So set that down. So the first 10 pages and what I thought the story was great. Now I'm being pulled into this story and there's a lot of action going on. I would describe this opening as kind of like a 007 type, James Bond type. It's just diving in. The main character, Kramer's not really a whole lot of description of what he is or who he is at this point. We're just kind of seeing him in this foreign territory, and he's going along doing a lot of sneak tactics. He's in Cairo, Egypt. The author is actually describing and really setting the stage here for you to get a really good visual. And I'm learning a lot about the author at this point as well, and how he actually writes. I didn't feel uncomfortable in any way, and I wasn't lost or confused at any time during this opening of the book. So I really thought that was a really good opening in the first 10 pages here. And some other things that I wanted to point out, aside from the excitement of the book, it's a really impressive layout of the pages. So I just want to go over this here. So I've actually written in here a few times. Just take a look at that. But you can see that the words, the pages are really weighted with those words. Weight on the pages, it's awesome. It's not scant at all. So I can definitely see a lot of creativity here with just the layout in itself. It's a very colorful setting in the book. It's another highlight that I wanted to say here. And really nice imagery and dialogue. That was believable. I felt always pulled into the story. Very good attention getters from chapter over chapter. Very easy to read, even though it was a military fiction. This is a military book. I could tell and suspect, without knowing a whole lot about the author, perhaps they've been in the military or they know someone who's been in the military. So it felt very comfortable, even though that was the case. There were a lot of adjectives and descriptive things that were going on, and I just didn't feel uncomfortable, even though I don't know anything about the military at all. But basically it wasn't overwhelming. And so there were some things that there was more like a low light here. First and foremost, this is the third book, Greg, and not the first. The context clues were inconsistent in that some segments were not easy to read because, frankly, the vocabulary was too advanced. In other words, they were big words. Some examples here would be desultory, fox paws, I believe I'm saying that correctly, spinally, nondescript, pyrooted, ipso facto, indelibly belied, inconsequential, crestfallen was also in here too. Now, these words, they're words that are common in the English dictionary. They're English words, not an issue. And when you have your readers, if I were to say I'm a reader who's not advanced in reading at all, I may not know those words. I just think that the point could have been given, or the same exact point could have been established if the words were more simple or simplified, if you will. So I just think that we could have made the point. Just based on, even though we may know these words, or I may know these words, it just wasn't necessary to use the words. So there were also some incomplete sentences. There were some run-ons, fragments, repetition, talking to himself. There were some random words, random paragraph alignments. There was excessive use of adjectives. There was excessive use of commas, italics, and em dashes. There were transitional errors. Didn't know who was talking sometimes, more often than not. Another thing here, there was some foreign language that was used, no interpretation. I was so disappointed by that because I want to know every single thing. And so there was that foreign language that was just used, thrown in here. I was really into the dialogue, and it was just like, what happened here? So definitely that interpretation, I think, was very, very needed. There was also a disappointing escalation romance between Kramer and Charlie. Now, I happen to be a fan of what was going on between those two, and it didn't have to be anything with them, but I just really wanted something to happen with them, just based on how their interactions were. Nothing ever happened, so it was a little disappointing. But and I guess with that, now that I think about it, it would be less cliche, because I always get the girl, right? So I can see how Greg twisted that a little bit. So now that I think about it, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Now, the ending is really what I want to focus on. There were two endings in the book. The second ending I liked better than the first. Now, the first ending comprised of a bomb that went off somewhere around about 5 feet away from the main characters, from the antagonist, right there. Kramer lives, Charlie lives, Sergeant Shadow lives. But some 3,000 were dead and 557 were injured. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist in any way, form, or fashion, and I don't claim to be so. However, I think that ratio is not correct. So, my opinion of the plot, it was exciting here. It was drab and exciting around about page 100, and then it continued on to be exciting. It was very consistent in its buildup. My discrepancies that I did locate, the book title is not so unique. There's many with the same book name on Amazon. So my final judgments is it ready for the shelf, or does it need a little bit more work? I would say it needs a little bit more work. Then it will be ready. Was I confused at any point while reading? Yes. Did I care about the characters? Not really. And did it have a compelling plot? Yes. Was the dialogue believable? Yes. Is there any questionable, profane, graphic content? No worries on that. Who would I recommend this book to? So, Lex Talionis. I would recommend this book, this particular story, to people who are interested in military fiction, anyone who's interested in covert operations, anyone who has an interest in tactical combat, any of that, FBI, even if you're interested in history, and does mention 9/11, so there's different aspects. So these people would actually latch onto this book very easily. So those are definitely the people I would recommend this book to. So for your book clubs and comments down below, if you choose to check out this work, which characters in the book did you like the best, and which characters did you like the least? So let me know what you think down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We upload every 2 weeks. And also check out my work, 74 Tears on File, as well as Seekers of the Shadowed Hearts. Both of those works can be found on Amazon.com. Thank you so much for joining in. Hope you have a wonderful day.